Welcome to this series of podcasts about the northwest section of the Shropshire Way. This delightful walking route will take you through some of the loveliest landscapes of the Shropshire border. 5 audio podcasts accompany you on your journey. Each one lasts for 4 or 5 minutes and introduces you to some of the stories and people of the area. The podcasts are Trevonnan, Salatin Hill, Bronigarth, Frankton Lock and Old Oswestry Hillfort. They are crammed with fascinating info about the area and can be listened to whilst on the walk, or if you prefer, in the comfort of your favourite chair. Oswestry is at the heart of the walks. This market town has served the scattered communities and farms on both sides of the border for hundreds of years. In medieval times, its castle walls were first a stamp of Norman authority, and later a place of refuge during the many wars between the Welsh princes and English kings. It prospered during the Industrial Age, selling its wool, coal and mineral wealth along the canals and railways. The town has a unique border feel. You're as likely to hear Welsh spoken as English, especially on market day. So take time to visit as the perfect reward for a day's walking. The first stop is Trevonnan. Standing on the line of Oswestry, this landscape was once turned upside down in the quest for black gold.
From the very early beginnings, local people must have known there was coal almost at the surface. Along came the Industrial Revolution. Rush for coal really began in the 1750s. The whole area was developed over about 100 years.
Now the skilled labours of the Oswestry brewery turn out barrel after barrel of golden beer.
In the Barley Mow, which we hope you'll go and have a drink in, there is the Oswestry Brewery, which is right next door to it, and that sits right on the line of Oswestry itself. The head brewer is extremely enthusiastic, and if you catch him on a good day or perhaps on a quiet moment, it's quite possible he'll show you round his micro brewery. But it does produce some fantastic beers which are on sale obviously in the pub itself, and they sell their beers around locally.
For more, download the Trevonnan podcast. Now over to Salatin, where the only shelter for miles on this exposed hilltop is Mr. Crew's Folly. Hide out here to hear about the tower and its footings in a far more ancient landscape.
It was built as a folly in the 18th century by a man called Mr. Crew, who used to bring his friends up here and watch the stars and get drunk and carouse all night. But it's got more history than that. Would you believe this was used by the Home Guard in the Second World War as a watchtower to watch the German planes coming over and report on them?
For more, download the Salatin Hill podcast. At Bronigarth, the lanes still ring with the sound of miners' boots on their way to the pits at Chirk and Gobowen. But it's not coal that was famously unearthed here.
He was a heck of a good gardener, Dad was. He was a good amateur gardener. And he was digging in the garden and he found these heads. I can see them today. He stuck them on the pigsty where the pigs lay, and then they got to run out. He stuck them on the wall there, 2 heads.
For more, download the Bronigarth podcast. Next, Frankton Lock, which was once a busy crossroads. Before the railways, the canals heaved with heavy goods, its barges drawn away to the factories of the West Midlands by sturdy horses. But behind the scenes, lengthsmen worked tirelessly to keep the vital waterways open with only the simplest of tools.
Every day was walk the length, right? Make sure that there was no leakages and everything was in order. Then that was daily. Then if there was a leak in any other section of the canal between Ellesmere and Llangollen that needed more than one man, they'd get the 4 of them and you'd go and do work on that. And that's how we used to be. Here one day and here another day.
For more, download the Frankton Lock podcast. We end at the magnificent Old Oswestry Hillfort, where we uncover its fascinating past.
As you go up the main entrance to the fort, to the top of the fort, You are going up what effectively is a tunnel. It would be very, very dangerous to go up to the main gateway at the top if you were not welcome there.
How many soldiers at the Somme and Passchendaele learned trench warfare on this quiet hill, surrounded by the remains of more ancient defences?
There are actually the remains of practice trenches from the First World War there.
They trained them on a laid out site, and then when they were in battle conditions and mud and ghastly stuff, they would know exactly where they were.
For more, download the Oswestry Hill Fort podcast. For all these podcasts and more, go to www.shropshirewalking.co.uk/Shropshire-Way.